It's back to school, or should I say back to the office period, so what better time to make an easy and customized lunch bag? It can add a homey touch to your meals or become a thoughtful gift to accompany a loved one throughout their academic year. We will start by typing the initial of a person's name. I'm making this for my friend Morgan, so I'll just type a capital M in the text box. We're using the font XPG 213 here at a size of 150. So, select the letter, center to the hoop, make sure proportional is disabled, and set the width and height to 120 millimeters. Now, let's draw a rectangle shape on top of the letter. We will use that rectangle to trim the letter later on. Let's set the width to 140 millimeters and the height to 30 millimeters. Center it to the hoop. Now, select the letter along with the rectangle and use the trim option from the shaping tools. Select only the trimmed letter and create a duplicate. For this duplicate, remove the fill, set the outline to satin 0 and width to 3 millimeters. Now, select the trimmed letter on the back and set its fill to Applique. Remove the outline color. Now, select the rectangle shape, right-click on it, and choose the Convert to Curves option. Using the node editor, split the outline and delete the 2 vertical lines. For these lines, set the outline to satin 0 and set the width to 3 millimeters. Now we will type the whole name between the lines. I'm using font XPG 257 and font size 28. You may try any other font and choose the one that you like best. Center the name to the space between the lines. Now, let's decorate the design using some clipart items. I chose the decorative 02 from the clipart gallery. Left-click to insert it at its original size and orientation. Ungroup it and keep the leaf branch. You may edit it as you like and place it next to the monogram. Feel free to experiment and try out your own ideas. I will use the same clipart item for the other side too. This time though, I will keep the flower part. Again, you may edit it and place it as you like. Take your time to decorate and customize the monogram. The options are practically endless. Symbols and clipart gallery provide a large variety of designs and shapes, which you can use to make a unique decoration that would please even the most picky recipient. Our design is ready. You may use it right away, or take it one step further to make that monogram pop out. To do so, we're going to use 3D foam for the outline of the monogram. When using foam, we need to make some adjustments to the design. First, we need to increase the density from the properties so that the stitches can capture the foam. So, set the compensation to 0 and the underlay to tacking. We will also use foam for the 2 parallel lines that split the monogram in the middle. So, adjust the properties for those as well. Increase the density, set the compensation to 0 and underlay to tacking. When using 3D foam with open lines, it is advisable to place cups vertical and underneath the satin stitch to cover the open endings and help the foam cut. In this case, the width of the line is so small that we can skip this step. If you want to make a wider line, have a look at our video Puff Foam Embroidery Mastering 3D Embroidering on Hats for more details. For this type of design, that is a combination of applique and foam, the embroidery sequence is crucial. So, let's check this out. The auto-generated sequence has put the applique first, then the black lines, and then comes the name and the decorations. For this design though, it would be better to have the decorations and the name at the beginning and the black lines last. So, let's edit the sequence. I will send these red ones to the back of the design. The same goes for the purple parts and the name. If we check the sequence once again, we have the name first, then the decorations, the applique, and finally the black lines. The sequence looks great. I shall switch to manual mode though to place the stem lines before the leaves for a more realistic output. Select the stem lines, right-click on the Sequence Manager, and use the option Join Together. Then move them before the leaves. The sequence is exactly as I want it to be. I'd like to make one final adjustment to remove these parts of the satin line that overlap with horizontal lines. To do that, we'll use the node editor. Select the satin line that is on top of the applique, right-click, go to Clones submenu, and use the Detach from Clones. Now, start the node editor, split the outline at the points where the satin lines meet. Remove the common part of the line. Do this for all common sections. You may also move these nodes to eliminate any overlapping of the lines. Do the same for the lower part as well. Let's have a final look at our design. Everything looks great. I would like this to be a monochromatic design, so I will set the same color for all parts. To eliminate any jump stitches between the satin cover stitches, select the satin part, right-click, and use the Break Apart option. Everything looks perfect, so let's get to make it. For this project we need printed lunch bag pattern and the printout of the design, a piece of fabric 70 centimeters by 40 centimeters, thermal insulation fabric 70 by 40 centimeters again, a piece of fabric for the applique part, fusible interfacing, stabilizer, adhesive spray, foam sheet, hook and loop fasteners such as Velcro, and assorted threads. Use the pattern to cut the front and back side of the main fabric and the thermal insulation fabric. Iron on the fusible interfacing at the back side of the two layers of the main fabric, as well as on the piece of fabric we're going to use for the applique part. fold the front side of the fabric to find the middle. With the help of the printed design, find the right placement for the embroidery. Keep in mind that the flap will fall over the upper part of the lunch bag. Mark the center of the design. Cut a piece of stabilizer big enough for your hoop and mark the center on it. Align the center of the fabric with the center of the stabilizer and use adhesive spray to keep the fabric in place. Place the stabilizer with the fabric in the center of the hoop. Attach the hoop to the machine and start embroidering. First will be the name in the middle of the design. The decorations will be embroidered next. The applique part will follow, and the machine will stop after a running stitch is embroidered to indicate the fabric placement. Use adhesive spray on the back of the applique fabric to help it stay in the right place. Now, place the fabric on the design. Continue with the running stitch to stabilize the fabric. Once again, the machine will stop for you to cut any excess fabric. Place a piece of foam to cover your design and continue with the satin stitch outline of the monogram. The two parallel lines that separate the monogram will be embroidered last. When the embroidery is finished, remove the hoop from the machine. Remove the fabric from the hoop and cut the stabilizer from the back. Then tear off the foam from the design. You may use a hot gun to refine the 3D part if necessary. Place the two main layers of fabric, right sides facing together, and hold them with clips. Sew along the sides and the bottom. To create the box style on the bottom corners, hold the edges together and sew along. Repeat the process with installation parts. Sew them together. Leave an opening on the side seam to help you unfold the lunch bag when it is finished. Turn the main fabric right side out. Place it inside the lining and use sewing clips to keep them in the right place. Sew along the edge to join the main fabric and the lining together. Now unfold the lunch bag through the opening with left on the lining. Sew along to close the opening. Fold the lining inside the lunch bag and top stitch around the edge. Fold the sides of the finished design and top stitch on them to mold the structure. So the hoop and loop fasteners, such as Velcro, and our lunch bag is ready. Use it as a beautiful reminder for your 5-a-day or a nice homemade meal for your lunch break, or make a couple of them to give to your loved ones. Don't forget to share with us your take of this project and follow us for more.